morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Hall. I'm going to make fun of some lunatics today, some Christo-fascists. It's like they just decided to team up together and spew out even more stupidity than usual. It's as if you had one of those supervillain team-ups, from comic books, Marvel superhero movies. You have Pastor Greg Locke and that Lauren Boebert woman representative from Colorado just synchronizing their idiotic attacks on the LGBTQ community. Let's start off with Lauren Boebert, everyone. And good morning. I hope you had a good weekend. Here she is. She could be the star of, I don't know, Mean Girls 5, MILF Edition. Here she is. Representative Lauren Boebert suggested that Americans in the LGBTQ plus community should be 21 before they can make life-altering decisions about their sexuality and identity. Is there a tweet? Of course there's a tweet, because Twitter is where people go just to say really, really idiotic things like this. We require people to be 21 to purchase alcohol beverages and 21 to purchase tobacco products. Why is it so unreasonable to require people to reach a certain level of maturity before making life-altering decisions about their sexuality and identity? Of course, this is the same woman who dropped out of high school and had kids before the age of 21. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, but can people still be drafted at the age of 18? I think they can. I think you can actually own a rifle in some states at the age of 18. You can drive a car when you're 16. There are several states that you can be married under the age of 18. And yes, I'm looking at Alaska, Sarah Palin's home state there. And just as an aside, if you're a parent and you want your kids to start voting at 18, now this is what I did with my kids, is that I informed them from a very early age that while you can vote when you're 18, you're still considered to be a second-class citizen here in the States between the age of 8 until you turn 21, when you can drink before you get fully invested with the rights of being an adult. So what does Lauren Boebert, conservatives like her, they always like to say that they champion small government, but how are you going to enforce the don't declare your sexuality until you're 21? Is there a registry? Is there some kind of form that you're supposed to sign at age of 21 saying that I am 100% straight, or I'm pan, or gay, trans? Is there a form? Is there a free agency clause when you get to 25? Maybe you get to re-sign on the team or change teams at a certain point. Sure, it's absurd, but what she is saying is absurd too, everyone. Waiting until you're 21 years old, until you declare your sexuality, your gender. But what would you expect from Lauren Boebert, right? So I want to talk about Greg Locke for a few minutes. And he just spewed out a whole bunch of hate word salad regarding the LGBT community. But first, let's do some background information on Greg Locke. A little while ago, he was fixated on witches. And I got a couple of videos I want to share with you about Greg Locke and witches.
Waffle House witches, Cracker Barrel witches, man and woman witches, church-going witches, preaching witches.
That was so crazy. I'm gonna play it again, just in case you didn't get it the first time.
Waffle House witches, Cracker Barrel witches, man and woman witches, church-going witches, preaching witches.
Waffle House witches? Cracker Barrel witches? They're witches putting hexes on your country fried steak? I would just be intrigued just to ask him about what kind of scheme is going on in the back, in the kitchen at the Waffle House with the witches, and whether or not they're in cahoots with the Cracker Barrel witches. All right. So he has a fixation on witches. He has a fixation on book burning. He burned a bunch of books just a little while ago. We covered that in this show. And of course, having this fixation with witches, he declared to his parishioners that there are witches within his church. And this is what happened when he had a letter from a witch. And this is what he did with it. Yeah, I know, right? So I guess a witch from within his church wrote him a letter. And these are theatrics that you would expect from wrestling, right? From pro wrestling, this kind of insane, we can't take this seriously kind of theatrics. But his church members, the members of his church, they take him seriously. And this is what's scary. Let's just show what happened after he read this letter from a witch.
Sincerely, a disgusted witch. Well, I'm a disgusted Christian at such wicked, evil, hellish stupidity is what I am. What do we think about your stupid witch curse? I say to that curse, return the sender in the name of Jesus Christ. Return the sender tenfold in the name of Jesus. Play all these demon games. Pastors trying to excuse witches and warlocks in churches. Want to call us the bad guys. Stay standing, we're going to dismiss the kids in a second.
The most terrifying part of all that is that there were kids watching, right? So this is before, if you've been to church, you know, at least this is how my church service, when I was going to church, was structured. You'd have, you know, some singing, some praying, some money being traded hands, and then there'd be the children's sermon, and then the children would be let off to, you know, children's church. And that's when the sermon was, you know, the adult level sermon was preached. So all of that was done with the kids in the room. And did you notice that there, I mean, obviously it was an outdoor ceremony that he was, Pastor Greg Locke was preaching at, and there were horns being blown, but I'm wondering whether or not some people brought air horns with them too, blasting off there in the congregation. So that's a little bit of Greg Locke 101. From what church? Global Bible Vision Church. Global Bible Vision Church. You know, I'm sure is his church a strip mall church? Because there seems to be a lot of strip mall churches with that kind of name, right? They want to let you know that they have a worldwide reach, when in all reality, it's a strip mall in between the 7-Eleven and the Quickie Mart. So I want to warn you all that this latest bit from Greg Locke is it is hate speech, Christo-fascist hate speech 101. I don't know how many trigger warnings I can give you about this, because it is horrible, but this is exactly the bread and butter of Christo-fascism here in the United States of America. This is it. Even though many Republicans and many Christians would not agree with how Pastor Greg Locke is communicating his message, they agree with the content. It's important to point out that all the horrible things that I'm going to show you that he said many people on the right do not agree with how he is presenting that to the country, to the world, but they agree with this content, and it's horrible and it's disgusting. And this is exactly what we're fighting against here. All right. I hope I gave everyone proper warning. I don't know if this video is going to be one of those things that gets me banned off of YouTube, but I think it's important to share this and talk about it. So, and if you don't want to see it, if you don't want to see this video, that's fine. I understand. We're doing the same show tomorrow at 9 a.m. We're also doing the after party at 9:15. Link is in the description below, everyone. But here it is. Pastor Greg Locke spewing classic Christo-fascist hate speech towards the LGBTQ community.
I'm going to call you who you are by what you were born with. I don't care what kind of surgery they get. Upstairs, downstairs, don't care. They can get their fingernails painted. They can get surgery. Grow out hair all the way down their back. They can take hormone medicine. They can change everything they want to. But them feet ain't lying. You got the feet of a man, you always gonna have the feet of a man, you club-footed looking.
All right, I've had enough. I can't even watch the whole thing. I've had to watch it a couple of times before just so that I became acquainted with the material, but I'm not going to show the whole thing because it is disgusting. I find it disgusting in a way that I find moldy bread disgusting. The way that that's kind of level of disgust, this kind of in your mouth kind of disgust from Pastor Greg Locke. He just goes on for a solid minute spewing hate speech about the LGBTQ community. And once again, rank and file Republicans may not agree with how he's saying it, but they agree with the content. Would who wrote Harry Potter? J.K. Rowling? J.K. Rowling, would she agree with his basic principles about trans people? I'm not sure. I'm going to check out the chat before closing out the show. Yes, we're going to do a little bit of tummy rub before signing off today. Once again, this is a shortened format. We're going till about, another minute or two before heading out and doing the after party after show at 9:15. The feet that determine sex. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. All right. I hope to see you at 9:15 on the other channel. I'm going to drop the cat video. I'm going to drop the thank you video. It's been a crazy morning. Sean, you're so on point there. Locke must love Marjorie Taylor Greene's feet. On that note, everyone, I'll see you at 9:30. And if not, then maybe tomorrow. Take care.